Yo, what happened?
Hey, bro,
What?
we're 7 people here. If you only see Jose, but it's Joseph, Juan, Arturo, Jose, Noel, and neighbor and me.
Hey, that's what's up, bro. That's what's up.
Yeah, so we just using my phone. Yeah, the Wi-Fi is down.
Wi-Fi's down?
Yeah,
Wait, what?
Santa Cruz rompió el cable, la verdad.
All right, bro. So I'm gonna start off the meeting, same concept, same thing. Every single time you guys have a question, interrupt me. And that let's keep it rolling. So I'm gonna mute you. I'm gonna mute you guys just because if you guys need to talk, just mute yourself. But yeah. So starting off with first pair, AUD USD. So far when it comes down to AUD USD, if I'm being completely honest, it's been profitable for me as far as this week is concerned. When it comes down to our analysis on a daily, I'm always going to look at the monthly just because it's repetitive and it engraves in your head that it's basically important to see what's going to happen on the monthly just because of the fact that it's very relevant information as far as long-term projections for this market. So we have a respect on the trend line once, twice, and three times breakout, and then we have a support zone hit at this exact level. So that's overall a very good indication that the market has the momentum to go on the upside. So now we look at it daily. Daily so far has been giving us a lot of correlation when it comes down to trend lines. Maybe perhaps when it comes down to this whole information as far as where the market could potentially go. Right now, what I'm seeing when it comes down to the daily is a lot of wicks on the upside. So I do have a bullish position placed on it. But to be honest, I just because of that information and because of all that, I might just get out of my bullish position because of the fact that there seems to be more momentum on the downside just because of this information right here. So I'm gonna wait and see what could potentially happen based on the wick setup. So when it comes down to this specifically, I did draw a trend line on the bull side when it comes down to once, twice, three, four times being hit at this momentum. So when it comes down to it being hit more than three times, that's when the trend line starts to become more 50-50 because it could definitely break out from the downside or the upside, depending on the direction of the market. So right here, we're in a bullish market because of this whole information, the fact that the market is maintaining the bullish trend from this point forward. But the other thing is that the market has not broken away from this previous support and resistance zone, which is placed within this general area. From basically, if you want to generalize it a little bit from here. So market hasn't really broken through that. So if you definitely want to see a position where you can safely get into this specific pair, I would highly recommend for you to wait until the market at least has that momentum to the upside and breaks away from the general area from within this consolidation zone. So that what that means is basically wait for the market to break away from the downside retest or the upside retest. So far, AUD/USD has been very relatively good for me, but I'm gonna be honest. There seems to be some momentum on the bear side, and there is also momentum on the bull side. So I'm just going 50-50 with this one, just waiting and see what the market shows us as far as breakout. And if it does retest at this point, then that's a definite bearish movement because of the fact that it broke away from the trend line and a supporting resistance zone. And that means that the market's gonna move forward to the downside. Now, once it breaks from here, this is a very strong resistance. And once it breaks from that point, then we can definitely more than likely see the market push beyond that point. So I'm just waiting to see what AUD does as far as the rest of the week. Thursday, Friday, more than likely we're not going to see a lot of setups. This week has been really slow, if I'm being honest, because when it comes down to EU and even UJ, those pairs have been very slow. So I guess that has to do a lot with not enough momentum in the markets, probably something happening within the economy, but we'll wait and see what happens within that. So EU. All right, so EU, you guys been talking about EU a whole lot. So you guys get the basic concept monthly when it comes down to its range. It's been very momentum as far as bullish when it comes down to the fact that it has not broken away from the support and resistance zone. So from that forward, we look at the daily. So when we analyze the daily, we definitely can see that the market has not broken away from this level of support. So overall, market is still maintaining that in a sense, bullish momentum because it hasn't created a new lower low or new lower high based on this information alone. So that's on the daily. So now we look at the 4 hour. So based on the 4 hour, we can definitely analyze that the market has been respecting the bullish trend to an extent. We see a retest once, twice, 3, and 4 times from this point forward. So E for me, if I'm being completely honest, its momentum is relatively bullish, but there is an opportunity for the market to go bearish. Overall, if you do want to take a safe trade when it comes down to EU, and you would more than likely have a win to reward ratio as far as your risk management, you can definitely place it from here down. It would be if it breaks away from this resistance. That would be the safest way for you to get into this trade. I basically got in here because of a confidence trade. What that basically means is it correlates with this bullish trend line and this resistance zone. So overall, we do see a lot of that information being respected. When it comes down to that, hold up, because my phone's like freezing up on him. Okay, so overall, my momentum for EU is bullish. There is momentum for me to maintain the downward trend. So when it comes down to this, my loss is around 18 pips, potential gain over 80 pips. I put my TP from this level, but I will remain in it if it does what is expected, which is basically break away from your retest, and that could be also another re-entry. Would basically mean my TP would be moved a little bit higher, which is basically from this level of resistance. Let me mute some of you guys because I can't hear you all. Okay. So as far as the EU is concerned, that's my basic concept, basic analysis. Overall, there's momentum on the upside. Bullish trend line. Market has now broken away from this resistance. So we gotta be just gotta be safe if you want to definitely get into this trade. But if you want to take a confidence trade like I did, you can definitely see momentum on this side. But please analyze based on your technical analysis, because mine it correlates with you guys because some of y'all are learning from me, but at the same time, analyze. I emphasize that 100%. Analyze your own thing. Never take a trade simply because it's said. Always take it because you confirm it. So next thing is UCAD. So UCAD, I've been having a 100% streak on UCAD for these past 4 trades. So I've been very happy with UCAD. When it comes up to where it's at right now, though, there is a lot of confirmation or momentum that it could potentially maintain a downward trend. Simply because, let's look at the monthly, because we always have to analyze the monthly. Market has a bullish trend, market broke away, retested it, and it's not within that area where it could potentially maintain a downward trend. So we look at a daily, we analyze the market, we see a market having a bearish trend, respected once, twice, broken away, retested at this level, which would have been a great support from this area and resistance. So we see the market push up, we test at this previous resistance, and it's within that consolidation zone. That's on the daily. So we look at the 4-hour. Market has respected this bullish trend line multiple times, once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 6 times, and it's within that general area where it's still about that area. So we do see a lot of wicks on the downside, meaning that there's momentum on the upside. But at the same time, we do see this trend line that is on a downward spiral, but basically meaning there's a retest once, twice, and 3 times. And we do see a lot of support and resistance within this level. So the reason I say that there could be momentum for the bearish side is because of the fact that the market has not broken away within this general resistance zone once, twice, 3 times, and it's a very strong resistance. If we look at the 4-hour, we can see that information. 3, 1, 2, 3, 4 times it hasn't generally broken. Overall, when markets tend to do that, that means there's a lot of exhaustion. Of course, within those movements, there will be movements inside where there are bears and bulls within that. But at the same time, my confirmations for UCAD as far as it being bearish is basically a respect of this support and resistance zone. All the information as far as multiple tops, 1, 2, 3, 4, and all these wicks on the upside. Of course, you have some on the downside, but they're more relevant on the upside as far as buyer's exhaustion being concerned. So we're gonna wait and see overall if I do plan on taking this trade, because tomorrow is Thursday. More than often, I'm just gonna wait for the market to break away from this small area. And the reason why is because they would genuinely create a new lower low from this level and a new lower high. And once it retests, then that's for me a confirmation for another sell. And I could definitely see a position where it could potentially hit new lower lows based on this relevant information. Who's talking? Big boy. All right. So overall, market momentum could be potentially up to this level or even below here.
You get
So
me?
we just gotta wait. Hello?
How do you set up the TP? What do you use Fibonacci or what do you use?
My TPs?
Yeah, the very last one.
For TP, I use my general, my over here. When it came down to this information, my previous low and my previous resistance, which is this point. That's usually how I'm setting up my TPs now. I used to use Fibonacci's, but now this seems more, in a sense, relevant as far as where the market's at. No problem, bro. All right, so that's UCAD. So now let's go to UJ. All right, so UJ has been hella slow. Like, I don't know about you guys if you trade UJ, but UJ does not act like this, honestly. Like, it should have had a movement a long time ago, but I mean, it's Wednesday, but at the same time, there's still not enough momentum in the market for it to actually have a giant ass move that it usually does. But so far on the monthly, we do see that information: bullish trend line, bearish trend line, respected once, twice, and we see the market respecting it again on this level. So we do see wicks on the downside, which means that this trend line is pretty much relevant. When it comes down to the daily, market is respecting on this bearish trend line once, twice, three. We always go over this information and almost exactly to this point. Now it's within that resistance zone where it hasn't really pushed beyond that, which possibly means that the market is being exhausted with buyers. So we could potentially see the market push below that. I mean, push above that and have a giant ass spike, or we can see the market push below this and maintain a downward trend. So far, when it comes down to this, my indication for UJ going bullish is just the fact that it does have that momentum where it's going upward, where as far as the trend line is concerned, is maintaining that upward direction, even though it has not broken away from this. There is a lot of momentum when it comes down to this. As far as we see this giant as wick and candle, we see a lot of potential for the market to continue back up. So honestly, once this market breaks away from this resistance zone, you can definitely find yourself a great bullish setup and possibly ride UJ all the way up to this level. So that would be a good ass trade to catch in this early stages, meaning a minimum of 200 pips. So that's all I'm waiting for to catch another move on UJ. Hopefully, I'm not saying it's probably going to happen, but hopefully by tomorrow we can see actual direction when it comes down to this specific pair. But so far, just gotta wait and see. So Ripple has been very consistent for me so far. When it comes down to the daily, we have a lot of information, meaning that the market is finding that low where it has not broken that resistance at this point. When it comes down to cryptocurrencies, I do not look at the monthly. It's not relevant information. Cryptocurrencies are so volatile that it honestly doesn't matter at this point. So far, market respected this bearish trend line multiple times, has not broken away from this level of support. So there's a lot of multiple hits, a lot of wicks on the downside. So there's a lot of momentum for Ripple to go up. So once it does that, I mean, honestly, this kind of trade setup could be a really simple one as far as this is concerned. All we need is for the market to break away from this resistance from right here. Once it breaks away from that, it breaks away from the trend line, meaning that the trend is no longer relevant and the market is now going bullish. So once it does that, we could potentially see TPs all the way up here. So that's what I'm waiting for this setup. Honestly, very simple trade. But overall, I'm going to be patient. You can definitely take a trade up down here, have a confidence trade. What that basically means is you take it based on the fact that you analyze the market and you understand the specific pair setup. So your TP could potentially be up to here, and your stop loss has to be, and I recommend has to be below within this general area. Why? Because the market has hit this low and has had these giant ass spikes. So make your stop loss as big as you can when it comes down to how much money you have in your account, but at the same time, don't be greedy and don't try to get into setup because of the fact that you just expect something to happen. So just be patient. Honestly, just wait until this breaks away and retest at that level and potentially TP up to this point. US 30. So US 30, my bias on US 30 is bearish so far. Simple information. We look at the monthly. Market has not broken away from this level in such a long time. We do see these wicks on the downside, but when it comes down to US 30, there's a lot of information that we have to consider as far as it being a lot of psychological things going on as far as the economy being concerned. There's a lot of momentum because of the fact that people are talking about how the economy is going to go down, how there's a lot of situations that could potentially happen. So that's something you have to consider as well. For me personally, I don't really talk about the news, but I do definitely consider it when it comes down to stocks or anything that has to do with stocks, which is US 30. So far, trend line being respected on this bearish once, twice, three at this exact point. Overall, we see it on the 4 hour as well. Market has not broken away from this resistance at all. So as well as that information is being concerned, market is just showing us a lot of momentum on the downside. There is potential for it to go up, but my bias on it is very bearish. Overall, if it does go up, I would not lose a lot. It's basically this whole point, 198 pips, which is not a lot to me as far as it's concerned. So overall, market is respecting this bullish trend line as well. We see a market respected once, twice. We do see these breakouts, but this is just when it comes down to US 30, there's a lot of information that you should understand as far as how to analyze the specific setup. So we do see market setup once, twice, and now it's within that area where there's not a lot of momentum on the upside. So for me, I'm just gonna wait and see. Probably going to consolidate a little bit more, and if it starts to consolidate a lot, I'm more than likely gonna just wait it out and see if it potentially is going to go up. But once it starts to consolidate and have wicks on the upside, then that's more of a confirmation for me to maintain this trade as a sell. So that's US 30. So gold, gold has become one of my favorites so far. I forgot who kept telling me to trade it, but thanks. Okay, so when it comes down to the daily so far, market set up a simple setup. There's not much information when it comes down to this monthly. We see a market break away from this resistance. 1, 2, 3, completely broke away. Now we're expecting that retest. We don't expect the market to continue bullish forever, so we have to have a retest eventually. So now we look at the daily. Market is respecting this bullish trend. If you can analyze within this, market is respecting this actual setup, so we can definitely see a momentum on the upside. So overall, when you see on the 4 hour, there is this ascending, descending triangles within that 50-50 range. Is basically just within that general area where it has a momentum to go up, has a momentum to go down. So I'm just generalizing gold because the trades that I caught before, which was here or even on this level, they were simple trades because of the fact that they were hitting those highs on the trend line once, twice, and the fact that we could use Fibonacci when it comes down to this. But overall, now that it's just within that consolidation, it's starting to lose momentum. You can definitely see it. Like we see these giant ass moves, and then it starts to slow down, and it's starting to slow down. And it's within that area where it's gonna pop within any direction, which is up or down. So we're just gonna wait and see, as far as the hour is concerned, where it's gonna go. So overall, you see these wicks. They're on both sides. They're on the buyers and seller side. So this is just the market just trying to find direction so far. So once it breaks away from this consolidation zone, then that's my setup, honestly, because it's going to respect the trend line. So once it breaks away and retests, then that's my setup for a sell or a buy. So far, I don't have a direction for gold. I'm aiming for a sell just because of the fact that gold is overall showing momentum on the downside, just because it's been very bullish so far. But we're just gonna wait and see and wait it out when it comes down to the specific pair, because there's no need to rush it. You just gotta be patient. And besides, if you have had a good week, there's no need to be greedy. So you don't have to catch them all. You just gotta catch the ones that you're sure of. So that's all it is for my trades. If you guys have any questions, please ask. If you guys don't,
I do, bro.
Okay, ask me, bro.
All right. Here's the question: how
Okay.
often do you? So you do analysis on Sunday, the weekend, right? And how
Yeah.
often do you check and adjust? And how many hours do you spend a day for charting? Analyzing.
Okay, so when you first start, recommendation is analyze markets consistently. Back test, back test, back test, back test. But as you start to analyze markets, start to get familiar with the pair, honestly, like I would go every day, I look at the markets. But honestly, at the max, when it comes down to Sundays and Wednesdays are the most that I look at the markets. But every other day, I look at them for at least 15 or 20 minutes. And just to reanalyze, as far as if I already have a setup and it's already hit my TP, then I look for another setup for potential entry at the market. And if it's already hit my stop loss, then I look for why it hit my stop loss. So overall, that information is very vital for you to become a better trader, just reanalyzing the markets consistently. But at the same time, once you become like better or try to become, it becomes easier. You don't have to be in the charts hours and hours. The reason people trade is because it offers time and it offers a sense of liberty for you to actually do the things that you want to do. So max 15 to 20 minutes a day. Except maybe it's set on Fridays because by then I probably don't have any more setups. But usually it's Sunday through Thursday.
So when we master a pair, right? What does that
Mhm.
mean?
Well, not necessarily. I'm not saying you're gonna master it, but you're comfortable with it, where you can understand how it moves. You're never gonna master a pair. You're always gonna have to learn something about it. But at the same time, you get more comfortable. I don't know how to explain it, but once you start trading a pair for a long time, you start to understand how it moves, and you start to realize that it starts to correlate with a lot of information in the past, and you know that its movements are faster or slower, and it has more volatility or it doesn't, or it has more structure or not. It just depends on the specific pair and how you analyze it and how consistent you are about analyzing it. So basically, when I say mastery, it just means that you've had a lot of experience with it, that you don't actually have to be on it for hours. You can basically be on it for 15 to 20 minutes and see a setup because of the fact that you're so familiar with it.
All right, man. Thanks.
No problem, bro. Anybody else? Okay. Hope you guys have a great rest of the week. I've had a phenomenal week this week, and I hope that reflects within you guys. I mean, time to change our lives. So I expect everybody enjoys their rest of the week and has a great weekend so far. See you guys Sunday at 9 p.m. I'm changing the Zoom calls for a later hour just because I know some of you guys have time for family and stuff. So later hours is better just because everybody's settled down and just enjoying the day. So hopefully everybody has a good day, and hopefully you guys make a lot of money and a lot of pips before the weekends. So see you guys.
Right. Hurrah.